Hello, I'm Matthew Nellis, and I'm joined today by Steve Burns, our reviews editor. How's it going, Steve?
Not too bad, thank you.
All right, and today we've got a quick Crysis 3 comparison between Xbox 360 and PC. So what we got here is the opening cinematic on the 360 version, and it's looking pretty good. I was unclear whether this was a pre-rendered cinematic, but it turns out that it's in-engine. And so we see the 360 version, it's looking pretty good, running at solid 30 frames per second. And then we compared it to the PC version, and at first looks pretty much the same, but it's when you go to a side-by-side comparison, and during the action, still looks fairly comparable. I mean, I couldn't really notice any difference. When you get to the close-ups of old Psycho, and we'll slow it down, and we'll get to a freeze frame right there. And then that's when you can really start telling differences between the two versions. And to be fair, the 360 version still looks pretty darn good.
It does. This is what Crytek does. It makes amazing looking games no matter what hardware it's on. And I mean, despite the fact this character model seems modelled on Steve Ballmer, the Microsoft chief. I mean, he looks exactly like him if you want to just Google
It's uncanny.
It looks incredible, and as a whole, the Xbox 360 version looks magnificent. I've had a few people come into the games room when I've been reviewing it and say, which version is this, or is this the 360 version? Because I play my PC games with a 360 pad. I know.
Yeah.
So.
And so we get into the actual gameplay now. We're looking at the 360 version. The frame rate for the graphics quality that you're getting is definitely playable. You're not going to get your 60 frames per second, but it's running at pretty close to 30. It does slow down now and then you compare it to the PC version, and generally you're not missing any major effects.
No, I think with the PC version, it obviously, if you were to look very closely, it just looks miles better with the lighting. But I think just playing it and not kind of tech speccing it and going over everything, frame by frame, you'll be very impressed with the Xbox 360 version. The PC version just has that better sheen to it, and when you're looking around like this, the depth of field and all the effects that are further away and everything, but it still looks brilliant.
It still looks fantastic. I mean, you're not missing any of the sort of bloom that you're getting. The only thing that you can really notice is that the PC version is just slightly more defined, and you're going to get that. I mean, our PC rig is nothing amazing. It's a i5 2500, GTX 570, I believe, or 560, and only 4 gig of RAM. So it's not a super top end PC gaming rig, but and it kind of shows that just how good a job they've done with the 360 version and with the Cry engine in general. That to notice the difference, you really do have to just do a side-by-side comparison and then sort of freeze frame to really notice the difference. And so we got a bit of 360 just gameplay here, just to show you how the game's running when you're actually sort of shooting dudes. There we go. AI is still pretty dumb.
Yeah, it's that's one of the problems of the series. I think Crysis 2 suffered particularly bad for it, but it's been improved. I think you don't really fight a lot of alien enemies in this game. It's usually but it has a negative effect because it doesn't make you feel very powerful.
Sure.
Because you're just. I mean, if you were toying with intelligent enemies, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been cloaked in a doorway and shot someone, and they've just gone, huh? And then kind of, just stood there. I mean, there are cursory attempts to make them look intelligent, like they'll fire in your direction.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they'll just go back into their non-alert phase and just, they're fine. Friend's just been killed with an arrow through the head, fine. Whatever.
So PC snobs like myself will be pleased to know that, unlike Crysis 2, there is a wealth of advanced graphics options for Crysis 3. So you can tweak it to your heart's content to eke out those extra frames per second. And here we got the PC version, just going through a bit of a combat sequence, totally not stealthing it at all. It's just running and gunning. And I was running at 1280 by 720, and capturing at the same time and getting a decent between 40 and 50 frames per second whilst capturing. And this was all the graphics options up high, apart from anti-aliasing, which I had to bring down just a bit. And so this little shot here, the reveal of New York as it is, on the 360 version, looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And this is not a pre-rendered cutscene. This is actually sort of in-engine, just sort of takes control away from you while they spout their nonsense about the story.
No, the nonsense story. This when you're following Steve Ballmer here, the game should really allow you to run around like the first Crysis did to a degree, and like Far Cry 3, I'd love to see a Crysis game where you could just dick around with all of the toys in an open world.
That'd be fantastic.
But for a lot of the time, you're funneled by Steve here into smaller sandboxes, which just aren't really big enough for you to really exercise, or to do loads of cool stuff. Really, to use your better judgment. And also, the enemies aren't smart enough to really make that seem fun.
Yeah.
And because the game's so story orientated, you essentially might as well just creep your way through to the next checkpoint just to see what happens next. I wouldn't bother because it's stupid, really. And you'll spend a lot of time babysitting Steve here. But if you're into the series, this is kind of like a defining moment in the story.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're going to get a nice side-by-side comparison here, putting the Xbox 360 and PC version. And again, it's negligible. Once the PC version is just slightly more defined, they seem to add a lot more sort of haze and sort of bloom, I guess, in the 360 version, just to kind of cover up some of the smaller details. Nice sort of close-up of Steve Ballmer's face there. But yeah, Crytek once again showing that they can make a gorgeous-looking game regardless of the platform. I'm really sort of interested to see what they can do on next-gen consoles when those roll around. For those who are PC gamers, you're getting a nice sort of benchmark for your current system. With a wealth of graphics options. So there's a final sort of still here comparing the Xbox 360 and PC versions. A lot more haze on the 360 version on the left-hand side, and just very much more defined on the PC version on the right-hand side. But that's it for our sort of quick Crysis 3 comparison. For those who are interested in seeing the differences between the Xbox 360 version and the PC version, Crysis 3 is out on Friday the 22nd. Steve, you've got a review of it going up as well.
I do indeed.
So check that out on videogamer.com. That's all from me, Matthew Nelson. That's all from Steve Burns.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.